This man is about to become one of the most wanted men in the States. To begin with, his name is Judas, and Judas is 60 years old. And as you know, a man of his age is supposed to have a retirement fee. But that's not the situation for our guy, since even the retirement fee he hasn't yet paid. And for that reason, Judas has been working as a professor in a certain university around his hometown, and he is well known for his skills on chemistry and other science subjects. Let's just say Judas is an old genius. But now here is where the problem comes in. For the last few weeks, Judas had been fired and had been jobless for almost 4 weeks continuously, but his wife didn't know about it since she was pregnant, and Judas didn't want to stress her. And this situation puts him in a lot of pressure because he have to provide for his family, and even to make matters worse, he have to make medical payments for his son who had a broken leg. But you and me knows very well how women are very observing. And for that case, Judas' wife discovered that her husband had lost his job, and for that reason I know you can guess what is about to happen. And yes, obviously his wife was very angry about it, because even her didn't have a job that she was doing, which we could have sustained them for a little bit before Judas gets another job. And this whole situation kept giving Judas more and more stress, to a point that one day he collapsed to the ground and immediately was taken to the hospital. And to his shock, when Judas asked the doctors what was the problem, the answer was, "Mr. Judas, it seems nowadays you have been troubling a lot, and for that reason it seems you have a brain problem." Judas didn't believe every word that was coming from doctor's mouth. But here is the truth that Judas knew very well, and that is he didn't have a lot of time in this world. And so he promised himself he would do anything in order to make money, so at least when he dies his family will not be poor. So that evening when Judas returned home, he informed his wife that he had got a new job, which was a car wash at a certain gas station. But to her wife's look on the face, it seemed that she was not pleased with the news at all. But as a man, he just ignored it and assumed maybe she was tired. The following morning, our man said goodbye to his family while going to his new job, and yes, the day started well at the workplace. Judas pushed himself so hard because he had no other choice left for him. But now here is where the problem comes in. At the same gas station where he is working, it is the same gas station where some of the students from his previous university normally comes to fill their gas on the car. And this whole mixed situation really made the working environment to be too hard to him, because sometimes students could come and start mocking him for the work he was doing. So Judas didn't last long at the place before quitting the job. Judas tried every design of making money everywhere, not loans from banks, his friends, like literally every method. But one day there was this old friend who came to him with a very good paying job, but the problem is that there was a catch. Now the work was a one-day job and was 1 million. According to his friend, the work had some instructions, yes, instructions. Judas was supposed to meet with this secret guy who was like the boss. At first Judas was somehow shocked and had a lot of questions about the work, but since he was desperate for money, he had no other choice other than meeting the guy. The journey was about 3 hours up to the destination of the job guy, and our guy had covered all of them and ready to meet the man for him to be handle the job. Now here is the job, but before that, remember, big money, the dirty the job. Judas, according to the job description, he was given a picture of a certain young man and he was instructed to murder him and dump him into a certain river in pieces. At once the environment air changed to our guy. He was very shocked and decided he wouldn't agree to do the job. The boss guy just laughed and looked at Judas' face and tells him, "How do you accept to reject the work when you have already seen my face?" That sounds like a threat, and Judas knew automatically he had no choice left. This was either take the mission or we take your life. That's why I normally say not all the friends are to be trusted. 24 hours till the job is done, that's the duration of time Judas was given. And so right on time Judas started the work. The hardest part was to find the location of the young man. But with the internet it wasn't hard to find the young man's location. According to the look of things, it seemed like this young man was somehow a drug dealer, because as soon as Judas appeared to the man, it's like he already knew and managed to escape Judas. But with the investigation that Judas had already did, he knew that the young man had a van which he used to travel with, and so it wasn't hard for Judas to track him down the road. And that's how the young man was caught by Judas and held as a hostage on the basement at Judas' house. But remember, this whole time Judas' wife had no clue what was going on all of this time. So Judas waiting until midnight for him to go and kill the man, in which indeed he did, but now he was too scared that he could have not managed to go and dump the body at that same night. And so he decided to go and hide the body on a certain tunnel on the same house. But what he didn't know is that all of this time his wife witnessed everything the following morning very early around 8 a.m. Judas' alarm was the sirens and point guns on his face from the FBI. It seems this is the last journey of Judas as a free man simply because his wife had already called the FBI and informed them everything. The last thing Judas was a last hug from his wife.